All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, August the 23rd, 2022. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Welcome back to New Jersey, Mr. Samurai.
And
Dave,
mouthful of Cubano.
I was going to say, Dave just said he's happy to be back and he's thrilled to be on the show tonight.
It was something like that.
Something like that. No, he's actually eating like normal. So
I'm eating a Cuban sandwich.
Why are you eating a Cuban sandwich, sir?
Geez, anybody watching want to guess why I'm eating a Cuban sandwich? Because this is what we do every
Happy
show.
National Cuban Sandwich Day.
A Cuban sandwich.
Tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon is Happy National Bologna Sandwich Hour.
Bologna sandwich hour.
Yes.
Can you fry the bologna?
Absolutely. Eat it however you want. Just as long as it's bologna on bread, whatever way you want. 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, Eastern Time, Bologna Sandwich Hour.
You see that meme that shows a ham and cheese sandwich on like Wonder Bread? And it says, "This meme stuck to the roof of my mouth."
Right. This is true. By the way, I meant to tell you this before, but at least everybody can, join in the fun. Your mic switched again.
Wait, what now? God, I hate that. Hold on. Go to settings. Audio. Communications.
Now everybody can see how much better he sounds with the proper mic.
No, I still sound like an idiot.
No, see, and you hear less of the air conditioner and more of you.
That's not probably a good thing.
Can you switch it back?
Yeah. You don't want to hear this, moron.
Exactly.
But Cuban sandwiches, I mean, there was... if people don't know what a Cuban sandwich is, there's a special bread for it. And this place just around the corner from us has that particular special bread.
Yeah.
It looks pretty flattened when they actually serve it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's usually ham and pork.
Yep, ham and pork.
No, ham is pork, is it not? It's just
it's roast.
Pork.
It's roast pork. Ham is it's
processed form.
It's not processed at all. It's just it's seasoned differently. Let's put it that way.
And then bacon is glorious.
Yeah, boiled ham, and then you have roast pork. Two different things.
Yep. Boiled ham, roast pork, usually Swiss cheese, pickles, and mustard.
Yep.
The place down.
And if it's done properly, they actually cut the roll in half, turn it inside out, put the meat and the cheese and the mustard and the pickles on the what would essentially be the outside of the roll, and then press it.
Well, I don't know if they're done here.
Bless you.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't know why I did that.
Because you had to sneeze. That's why you did
Oh,
that.
that's why. But apparently they actually put, if I did dissect this a little bit, it looks like there's a little bit of pepperoni in there. Or salami. I think that's salami.
Salami. It would be salami.
Yeah, that is salami. So
that's not... That's their version. It's their take on a Cuban sandwich. Sure.
What's the best Cuban you've ever had?
What was her name?
Mine's in the next room. Carrie actually is Cuban. What's the best Cuban sandwich you ever had?
Best Cuban sandwich I ever had was actually in... There was I can't think of the name of the deli. It's not there anymore. It was in Harrison, New Jersey.
That's the Two Guys?
No. In like downtown, like Frankie Rogers Boulevard, Harrison, New Jersey kind of thing.
Not on 17.
Not on 17. Well, I mean, when you get to the end of 17 ends where, in North Arlington where Kearney starts.
Right.
But if you stay on that road, it was on that road. It becomes, it's Kearney, Evan Kearney, and then it's Frankie Rogers Boulevard in Harrison. And yeah.
The best one I ever had was in Greenwood Lake, of all places.
Weird.
The Helm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, their Cubano is fantastic.
I got to be honest with you. Had food there, been there, great place, love it. Never had a Cuban there.
Oh, next time you go, you got to get a Cuban there. It's really,
enough.
really good. I think it's one of the staples on their menu.
Fair enough. My buddy Chris, the executive chef up at Preakness Hills Country Club, he's good friends with the owner. So we go up there.
No, my friend Sean Kenny is the beer manager. I wonder if he still is. He probably is.
Maybe he is. Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't. Who knows?
Yes.
Anyway, if you haven't guessed by now, folks, tonight's guest is once again you. You are the guest because Dave and I tonight it's once again just the two of us.
Yeah, I just got back from vacation.
So,
John's been busy with the brewery,
mhm.
so we didn't really have too much time to book a guest for the show tonight.
And then it dawned on both of us that Dave has so much to talk about because of all the breweries and everything that he did in the last 10 days in Asheville.
This will be just as excited as watching someone's slideshow.
Exactly.
I promise you.
Exactly. Even a little bit more. A little bit more.
That's only because we're talking about beer.
Exactly. So why don't we? Speaking of that, before we start talking about beer, why don't we drink some? Why don't we drink some? Why don't we?
I'm already drinking some.
All right. So what are you drinking? I'll put yours up as I drink mine.
So it's interesting because I'm drinking out of a stange, and usually you would see a Kolsch out of a stange, right?
I would imagine you'd see a Kolsch out of a stange. Why are you drinking that beer? And what is it?
It is a black Kolsch.
It's a black Kolsch.
Yes, it is. It's called Murder on the Mountain.
Okay.
So apparently there's a whole bunch.
Wasn't that a ride in Great Adventure once?
or Traction Park?
Traction Park. That's what it was. Traction
Yeah.
Park.
Maybe it's just a whole bunch of crows sitting on top of the mountain.
Fair enough.
Who knows? But this is from Brahmi Brewing. Brahmari, sorry.
Bramari, yeah. Bramari.
Brahmari used to be called Hive Mind. But Brahmari, they switched to Brahmari. And Brahmari is the Hindu goddess of bees and honey and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if maybe goddess of mead, but also goddess of beer. So
Goddess of meat, did you say?
mead.
Oh, mead. Gotcha.
Honey wine.
There's got to be a goddess of meat, I'm sure.
Mm.
Well, maybe not though, because they don't eat meat, right? They don't eat cow.
Well, not in the Hindu religion, no.
So
Maybe not.
not cow, but bull. Steer.
Yeah. Maybe in the American religion.
This is true.
There's definitely a lot of meat to be eaten.
True story. I am
What are you drinking?
I am drinking O.B. Hazy. Right there.
Oh, hazy.
O.B. Hazy. From D9 Brewing in Cornelius, North Carolina. I figured I'd go on the North Carolina kick since you were in North.
Well, yeah, mine's from Asheville. Yours is from outside Asheville.
Outside, about an hour outside Asheville, maybe a little less. Cornelius, North
Which
Carolina.
direction?
East of Asheville. I was going to say Nashville. It's east of Nashville too, but
Yeah,
it's
it is.
east of Asheville. Yeah. So cheers.
Cheers. No, we stopped at Foothills on the way to Asheville. It's nice. Had some sexual chocolate on tap. We were at the brew pub, not at the brewery itself and tap room. Probably should have gone there. They probably would have had some variants on sexual chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason they had sexual chocolate on at the brew pub is they'd had an event and there was some left over.
Gotcha.
So it wasn't actually on the menu. And I'm looking at the tab. I'm like, you've got sexual chocolate. It's not on the menu. I'm like, yeah, it's just. So that was cool to actually drink it.
How was it on tap?
Oh, just as good as it's out of the bottle. Not a little better. I should be expected, right?
That's to be expected.
It was really good. So, but before that, we had actually stopped in Richmond, which is kind of foreshadowing John's second beer. We jumped. We did. We went down there. There's a place called, if you ever get there, ZZQ Texas Crab Barbecue. Especially if you want to take a mortgage out for your meal, they're not cheap,
Right.
but it's worth it. Oh my God, might be the best brisket I've had in my life.
Is that right?
The brisket was amazing, absolutely amazing. And after that, we went over to Arden. Arden was really good. So we did Arden, we did Bingo, we did the Vale, we did Vossen, we did Three Notched. But my favorite in Scott's Edition, Strange Ways.
Strange Ways, yes.
Oh man, that was so good.
So I got to stop you for 1 second because I really want to hear about that. But I have to throw this up.
Please don't throw up.
You funny guy. I got to bring this up. Now, what beer was it that you had that was on tap because they had an event and there was some left over?
Sexual chocolate.
Okay. Every time I hear that, okay, and I love the beer, and I know the beer, and I love the beer. The beer is fantastic. But every time I hear that, this is what I think of.
There you go.
All right.
And who is that?
That would be Randy Watson.
Randy Watson.
You might know him from the whatever episode it was from That's My Mama. Sexual Chocolate.
It's backup band, right?
Sexual Chocolate was the backup band. Randy Watson and Sexual Chocolate. Yeah, Randy Watson. Great movie. Love Coming to America. Awesome movie. Anyway, all right. Continue with your trip, please.
So Strange Ways. Easily my favorite brewery in that we've gone to in Richmond. We didn't go to the Answer this time.
No?
I just have to say that I love them both for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But the Strange Ways was probably, I think it had the best vibe. Nice array of beer styles. Oh, here we go. Doug's got a comment on Strange Ways.
Oh, let's put that right up, please. Doug Smith says Strange Ways is opening another location in Williamsburg, Virginia in 2023. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So that'll be, well, I know they've had
And you can get down that way, and not that there's not other breweries down there, but then you can also get over to which we call New Realm has the place in Virginia Beach too.
that's a little bit of a drive going.
Yeah, a little bit of a drive, but it's not
you go through Newport News,
News, and then you get down to Virginia Beach. Yeah,
but there's Williamsburg Ale Works in Williamsburg.
Okay.
And they're pretty good, especially their one-offs. They're like, you get a lot of breweries where what you can get in the 12-ounce bottles it's drinkable, it's good. Mm-hmm. But when they do some of their special bomber bottles,
right?
Williamsburg, the Ale Works actually do pretty good stuff there. I do like that stuff. Right. And if you're going to be in Williamsburg, Pierce's Pit is a barbecue joint, which is just their pulled pork is amazing.
Pierce's Pit.
I used to go there. My brother and I used to go there with my grandfather when he was a truck driver. Truck drivers always know the best places to eat.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it was just a shack off the side of the highway.
Mm-hmm.
And we get these burgers that would just, he'd have to change. I mean, we were little kids. He'd have to change our clothes when we were done with the burgers.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just so messy and delicious and wonderful. But their pulled pork, they're really known for their pulled pork. And you go there on, the weekend, Friday night, there's going to be a line.
Sure.
There will be lines.
But
anyway, back to Richmond.
Back to Richmond. Yeah, let's get back to Richmond.
Strange Ways. They had so many varieties of beer, and every single type that we tried, I believe they did pretty damn well. It was probably my favorite stout that I had on the trip was from there.
Really?
Yeah, because it was kind of an old school imp. I forget, did it have coffee in it? There was only like one adjunct in it, so they didn't mess around with it too much. Really quite good. So that was the one night. We went to Hardywood for dinner.
That would be Joe's temple.
Joe's temple?
Joe Granat's temple, yes. He loves his three favorite breweries.
Yeah.
As we know.
Barrel Souls.
Hardywood.
And Modelo,
right.
Joe.
Joe. Anyway, okay.
So we had dinner there. I mean, I wasn't all that impressed with what Hardywood had, but then again, this was our 7th brewery.
Right.
And I've heard.
So was your palate wrecked by then? I mean,
more
it had
than
to be to some degree. I mean, it had to be, right? That was kind of like us last year up in Portland, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't even taste anything at Bellflower.
Oh, I couldn't taste a damn thing at Bellflower.
Yeah.
No, that's why I bought some to bring back, because I knew they were supposed to be very good. They had the brewer had a phenomenal pedigree.
Sure.
Right. Coming from Bissell.
Mm-hmm.
So, had to bring some home. And it's like, yeah, it's a shame that I couldn't taste this when I was there.
So beer was so good. Well, you had it when you came home, but they're fresh on tap. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
Got to get back up there.
Yeah, maybe start with Bellflower.
Yeah, start.
I usually start at Bunker when I'm there, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to do more than one day, right? I mean,
well, you do.
Otherwise
you'll die.
You got in on Thursday, didn't go anywhere. We went to dinner and then we went out, and then we had the morning, and then you continued and we left.
Yeah.
And then you just did that day, and then you guys left the next day and headed down to Massachusetts. So you get more than one day in Portland, and you can split it up pretty well.
Yeah, you need to do that one day, but But
And
yeah,
hopefully, when you get back to Navarre Res, will have a bit more
selection.
bit more selection.
A bit more of the beer that I actually want to drink there out of everything. But the
Exactly.
no, and that same thing actually goes for Richmond. There's so many breweries there. Each brewery, so many of the breweries have 2 locations in Richmond. Some have 3. Just outside of Richmond. But they're propagating. Richmond's a pretty damn good beer town, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's
and
coming along.
The Vale and Vossen, so you get Scott's Edition. A lot of the breweries started outside and they came to Scott's Edition because Scott's Edition is like the up and coming neighborhood. A lot of great food there, a lot of great restaurants, and they put some money into it. And I know the Vale is supposed to be very good, and Vossen does make really good beer, but these places are just so clean and stark and kind of almost what was the word I used before we pretentious, almost
Pretentious.
A little on the pretentious side. It's like,
Well, it's I won't even call them, and I honestly I haven't been to either. I haven't been to the Vale and I haven't been to Vossen. I've had plenty of Vale and I've had plenty of Vossen. I've just never been to the breweries. The beer's great. I mean, the beer's spot on. But when I hear that about a brewery is minimalist, if you will, and just clean and not that that's a bad thing, obviously. Using the word clean at a brewery, you kind of want it to be clean at a brewery, right?
But you don't want it to be sterile.
Sterile. There you go. That's a good word. Well, actually, you kind of do want it to be sterile.
Well, you want your tanks to be sterile.
Right.
What did
the tap room? I want to have some character. I want.
What did Rick Reed always say about his tap room? You look around and be like, he's like, as long as the inside's clean, who cares what the outside looks like?
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
I'm like, oh, that's some wisdom.
Right and there. You know what? I've had plenty of amazing beer at breweries that if you actually did look at the tanks, you would never even think of starting to decide if you wanted to order the beer, let alone actually drink it. Because the beer's fantastic.
The inside's immaculate. But
the inside's immaculate. The outside, not so much.
I've seen those too.
Exactly.
But no, that was so. Yeah, if you want to hit everything in Richmond, you're not going to do it in a day.
No. And we're getting to the point now where that goes for everything, though, and that's a good thing. And I'm really loving
in a lot of these places. The only thing is, what else is there to do in Richmond? I mean, Portland, you can go see the lighthouse.
King's Dominion. Are we too old to go on roller coasters?
No, but that's on the way down.
Right.
No, it's it's not a. I don't know. You can link it with everything else. So.
I don't know. It's still like I'll tell you. I mean, I live in what we call Central Jersey, which some people call South Jersey.
Hey, it's been ruled. There was a ruling.
There's a ruling
that Central Jersey does exist.
Right. However, I've been here. I'm in my 6th year in Central Jersey. Okay. I live 20 to 25 minutes from Great Adventure. The last time I was at Great Adventure was 2.5 years before I moved down here.
I used to work there when I was in high school.
Who didn't? That lived down here, I mean.
Yeah, if you lived in Jackson, New Jersey, I think it was the law that you had to work there.
Right.
Cool thing was they would bring the Black Panther. We're the Jackson Jaguars, but our Jaguar was black for some reason. So they bring the Black Panther to some of our football games. Mm-hmm. And then have, they'd prowl along the, in one of the corners of one of the end zones. No one threw a flag route to that to that corner. I'll tell you that. Not with that thing lurking there.
No.
But that was fun.
Yeah.
So, like I said, from Richmond we went to we stopped for lunch at Foothills, and of course when we hit Asheville, we had to hit the oldest brewery in Asheville. The first brewery in Asheville was the first brewery we hit, and that was Highland. That is a fun place. Mm-hmm. They have a disc golf course. So what you do is you go inside, you order a beer, let them know that you're going on the disc golf course. If it's in a can, they give you the can. If not, they don't give you a glass. It goes in a plastic cup. And you drink beer while you're on the disc golf course. 5 o'clock on, I believe it's every weekday. No, maybe it's on the weekends. I don't know. Maybe it's every day. They've got volleyball. They've got in the woods, they've got like a cabana, an area. There's a bar out there. You can go out there and drink. They've got a rooftop bar. They've got the main tap room bar. We stayed in the main tap room bar because there's puppies there. There's puppies all over the place. All the dogs. And it's just a really cool place to hang. They got an event space. It looked like they had a wedding going on. There was just so much going on.
Right.
And it was just really, really cool place to hang out.
Cool.
And it's good beer.
Sure. Oh, of course.
You know, this is Highland. They make damn good beer. It was one of my favorite places to hang when we got to Asheville.
Gotcha.
But we hit a lot of the breweries in Asheville and a couple of the breweries outside Asheville. So the Saturday we were there was Carrie's birthday. So we went to the multi-million-dollar beautiful monstrosity that is built south of Asheville, right on the river.
Would that be in Fletcher?
That would be in Fletcher, North Carolina.
Fletcher, North Carolina, yes.
And that is Sierra Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that facility is insane. They will not, Mr. Grossman, the Grossman family will not admit how much they've spent on it, nor do they need to. It's still privately owned.
Who cares?
And as we're driving in, just the driveway alone, I'm looking around going, they put a lot of money into this place, just the driveway. This long, winding driveway lined with rock walls and sconces in the shape of hops along the wall. So the whole driveway is lit at night because, you know, they don't want people running into the rock wall after they've had too many pale ales. It's just, and then you finally come around and you just look at this massive building that just, you look that way, and the thing just keeps going. We've got these huge copper kettles, massive copper kettles. Then I think the copper, I don't think they actually brew in the copper. I think the copper is just sheathed over the stainless. Yeah. But it looks cool. It looks really nice.
Well, it works. What the hell?
But they're very, very green. What they do is, because someone asked them about the CO2 shortage. Mm-hmm. They said, well, we don't have a CO2 shortage. We make our own CO2. Mm-hmm. It's a natural byproduct of the brewing process. We capture it, we scrub it, and then we reuse it.
It's a beautiful thing.
And I said to him, I said, that contraption must have cost a pretty penny. He goes, it paid for itself in less than a year.
I'm sure it did.
Oh my God, that's a huge ROI right there. I mean, you can't. That's amazing. They've got their own water treatment plant.
Well, I mean, think about the scale that they do, right?
Yes.
So it's like a smaller brewery, right?
It's not worth it.
It's not that's not scalable, right? The cost of that unit is the same for anybody.
Yep.
So for them,
a smaller brewery, decades,
right,
to get their money back.
Right.
But they've also got a water reclamation center, and what they do is they capture the methane off it to run some of the burners.
There you go. So they're very green.
Very green.
Very green.
Speaking of green, we were in the hops room. Okay. And they got these big bins of hops, and they're all labeled.
Did you jump in one?
I wanted to. There's Cascade. There's Chinook over there. Motueka there. Galaxy, Citra. He took a couple of He took a bucket of I think it was the Cascade pellets cones out. You know, he had us rip them open, rub them in our hands. Mm-hmm. You know, and you spend the rest of the tour going.
Oh yeah,
it's just wonderful.
I've done that at tours before too, right? I'll rub it in my hands when he says, but I'll save a couple of the leaves of the cone, right? And I'll eat them.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
and they tell me that no, don't eat that. You'll taste hops all day. I'm like, and
yes, and it's funny because maybe you were that guy. Were you on their tour? Because he goes, yeah. He goes, you know, normally you don't eat these because you're not going to taste anything for the rest of the day. Yeah. He goes, and I was just about to tell everybody that, and this guy just pops one right in his mouth. It's like, okay, too late.
Well, I don't put a whole cone in my mouth.
He popped the whole cone.
No. Just a leaf or two. We just
the lupulin and all.
Right.
Right. So he was a funny guy on the tour. He really dodged the issue about where Chico came from. Mm-hmm. Because there's many stories of where Chico comes from, the yeast, mm-hmm. not the town. The yeast is named after the town, but it's not its original origin.
Its original origin, I don't know.
Could be
Newark,
New Jersey.
Newark, New Jersey. Maybe?
At a brewery that has a logo of a pretzel.
Ball and twine. Ball and twine. There you go.
He dodged that issue. He dodged that question quite well and skillfully. I had to give him that.
There you go.
But he goes, you see that little refrigerator over there? He goes, that's where the mother lives, right in there. He goes, if you were just walk down this hall, up and down this hall all day long, you would just never know. But that's where it is. It's right in there. And I'm like, where's the armed guards? You would think that. I said, now, every one of your brewing locations, the mother split off from the mother in Chico. He goes, yes. I said, which was then split off from the mother in Newark. He just smiled and turned around. Now, did you get the picture I sent you of the display case of every single year's bottle of Celebration?
Oh, yes. Yes,
Yes.
I did.
I figured you'd appreciate that.
Hang on, I will actually put that up right now. Hold on. Well, talk a little bit about it, and then I'll get the picture up.
Well, we all know that Celebration is John's favorite beer, maybe.
Period.
Definitely his favorite holiday beer, but definitely in his top maybe 3 to 5 overall beers ever brewed. So you're going down this one hall, and there's all these showcases, and they're showcasing all these bottles and cans through the years. And there was one showcase that was nothing but Celebration ale bottles. I'm like, well, I got to snap that picture of that and send that to Johnny, because this will make him drool a little bit. If not, get him a little excited.
Oh no, it certainly did, and you'll see why as soon as it loads here.
If he can pull that up there, he might have trouble getting it up now, but he had no trouble getting it up when he first saw the picture.
Oh no.
Mm-mm.
Oh, there we go. I know why. Okay, fine. It's down here. Here we go.
Thanks for continuing with that metaphor I was running with.
There you go. And there it is, right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those bottles.
No, I couldn't get it face on, but you can see the doors blocking it.
Right.
And there's a barrel blocking the door.
And there's a barrel blocking the door.
So that was the best I could do, but that pretty much says it all.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm so looking forward. I have one bottle left from 2019, 2 bottles left from 2020, and I have a whole 6-pack left from 2021. Of course, they switched to cans. Did you ask them why they switched to cans?
No, I didn't. I didn't think to. Well, I don't know if you do the same thing when you're on a brewery tour, because we've been on so many brewery tours,
mm-hmm.
and we know the answers to so many of the questions that are going to come up.
I sit back. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to
be that guy. There's one time, because I was one of my friends were at Heavy Seas, and what they would do at Heavy Seas is you would get chips, whatever. You'd buy, you give them the money for a flight. They'd give you, I think, 5 of them,
right,
for like $10 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're on the tour guide has 4 chips with her, and she would ask questions, and whoever gets it right first gets that chip.
Right.
So my buddy's like, we're walking away with 4 more beers. I'm like, no, I'm going to let other people answer. Finally, they got to this one piece of equipment that was sitting not too far from the fermentation tanks, between fermentation tanks and the bright. Mm-hmm. And it was just like this kind of like table thing with a top on it, and the hoses were going into the top and coming out the bottom and all that. Mm-hmm. And she was asking if anybody knew what the thing was, and no one knew what it was. And finally, he looks at me and he's like, "Can you at least get us one?" I'm like, "All right, it's a hop back." So we did get the token for that. And I gave it to him because he forced me to answer the question.
There you go.
But yeah, so I do the same thing you do. You sit back, let other people answer the questions. There was a bachelorette party that was there, and but they asked some pretty good questions. As a matter of fact, they're the ones that asked about the CO2 shortage. The tour guide either glazed over or completely ignored or didn't get the innuendos when they were talking about someone liking the big IPAs. I think they pre-gamed the tour.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I'm still. I mean, I know why, but in like a common, not the common sense, but like just in a manner of speaking, right? I'm still trying to figure out like, how is there a CO2 shortage? Wouldn't plants be dying?
They'd be dying. We breathe it out. I don't know.
How is? I mean, okay. So there's I mean, I don't want to get into like this big geopolitical discussion in the show tonight, but
it's
like
not geopolitical; it's chemical because it's just the scrub CO2, the clean, not industrial CO2 because you got CO2 that's industrial that can power things, but
Sure.
you can't run it into. It's got to be food grade CO2.
sure.
So they're just not scrubbing enough CO2.
Oh, why?
But why? What's
Why?
going on?
Why?
You think Big Beer's got something to do with it? Possibly. We couldn't stop them from doing this. We couldn't stop them from doing this, but we can stop them from pouring their beer.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
you know what?
Carving their beer.
Yeah. So, well, the thing is, at least pouring it because the yeast is supposed to carb it.
Yeah, but you got to carb beer after it's.
When you keg it, absolutely.
When you keg it and you can it, you have to carb it.
So, but there's that.
Or it's,
well, you know what?
unless you're making firkins of everything.
Yes, I was going to say let's go to the real ale movement.
Real ale movement. Screw it.
Go.
Hey, CO2, go screw yourself. We're just drinking real ale from here on out. So, we got a comment. Irene, let's throw this up really quick. Irene Wilkins, my daughter recently started working at a brewery there, and I can't remember the name. It's a small brewery and have some food and don't have tours. Well, clearly this is not New Jersey she's talking about. Sorry about that.
Yes.
She loves working. She loves working there. She loves Asheville, moved there from Cleveland. I texted her to get the name.
So the first question is, how many tattoos does she have? Because almost every brewery worker in Asheville has at least 15 tattoos.
There you go.
And piercings, and has a little food. Is a great brewery. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Burial.
How many tattoos do you have?
None.
Oh, she has, her daughter has none. Look at that. How many tattoos do you have?
Give it some time. I've got two.
You have it too?
I have two. I have two tattoos.
No, I know, but
I've got a tattoo too.
But
I don't work at a brewery.
So did somebody say, let me tattoo you? That's what I did.
That's the Rolling Stones. I went with a Tom Petty reference. And a tattoo too.
Tattoo too, right? Exactly.
And you went.
Why I went the Stones, right?
You
exactly.
went the Rolling Stones.
I have no tattoos. Zero. Zilch. No tattoos.
I'm surprised that you don't have Giants on one butt cheek and Mets on the other butt cheek.
Well, no. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. For about 35 years or more, I've been wanting to get a Maltese cross. And Dave knows what a Maltese cross is.
Yes, that is the symbol of the firefighters across the world.
Right. On the outside of my left calf, and that's where outside of my leg, outside of my left calf. That's where I wanted it. I've never gotten. Every single one of my kids has multiple tattoos. I have zero. So
I've got two, and I think I got my first one at like 48.
There you go.
So, at any rate.
Anyway,
that was Sierra Nevada, and it's just like
we could probably do a whole show on Sierra.
Just at a show, yeah. Because oh my god, the outdoor space is amazing.
We could probably do a whole show at Sierra.
Oh my god, the food there is amazing.
Wait. Again,
not New Jersey. Yeah.
It's amazing how in other states
this works.
Things like that work,
and the restaurants remain open,
and they don't falter.
No, it's amazing. We had this one dish there, and when Carrie and I did like our post-mortem of the trip as to what some of our favorite dishes were, the brisket at ZZQ was one of them. But the clams at Sierra Nevada, what they do is, you ever had Tom Young Guy? Don't say Tom Young Guy. Tom Young Guy.
Tom Kagai or Tom Young?
Tom Young Guy, which is the chicken. Tom Kagai is the shrimp, right?
No, Tom Kagai is the guy. GAI is chicken.
Okay.
So it's the chicken.
So Yum is the one that's got the coconut milk in it. Ka has no coconut milk?
Yeah, Yum has the coconut milk in it.
So they use Tom Yum.
Oh.
They use Tom Yum.
Tom Ka guy has the coconut milk in it. I'm sorry.
Now they call it Tom Yum, and that had coconut milk in it. So it's whatever the Thai soup is, it's got the coconut milk in it.
Gotcha.
They use that.
The coconut lemongrass chicken soup. It's the.
They use that as the broth for the steamers.
Really?
Oh yeah. I saw that and I'm like, that is genius.
That's great.
Genius. So we got those. Oh, they were so good. They had little cherry stones, and
that is one of my favorite soups.
So same here. So that if you go, you've got to get that. The Korean ribs were fantastic. Just all the food there was really good. Now the thing is, the food. If you sign up for the tour, They don't take reservations at the restaurant. The wait is usually about 1.5 to 2 hours, so you might be safe to put your name in just before the tour and then go take the tour.
Right.
Tour is about an hour and a half.
There you go.
So when you're done, you can get back. You should have your table should be ready. But if you don't do that like we did and have to wait, they told us 2 hours. It really was only an hour and a half. If you go upstairs from the restaurant, the bar upstairs was empty. There was maybe 4 people sitting inside, and they have a deck that overlooks the outer area. And there was maybe about 20 people out there who every now and then would get up out of one of the rocking chairs, go inside, grab a beer, then go right back outside again.
Nice.
So there was no waiting for a beer upstairs. And they had the same exact list as they had downstairs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. And if you go, there's I think there's 2 colors, it's purple and orange, and those are the Fletcher, North Carolina only offerings.
Okay.
And
so you're not getting them. You're not getting them in Chico, and you're not getting them anywhere else.
Nope. And you may not ever get them again because it's there. They've got in the middle of the restaurant. There's like a pretty large experimental brewing system that they use. 2 big tanks that they had filled.
I was going to say their pilot batch system is probably bigger than most people's.
Yes.
Most microbreweries.
Yeah, I think it was like a. What was it? I think it was a 5-barrel experimental.
Oh, all right. I would have said it was like a 10 or 15. I would have went with.
Yeah, I think it was only a 5 for an experimental, right? So yeah, so that was one of the highlights of our trip. That was fun. You know, just sitting on the deck. We finally got into a couple of the rocking chairs and just sat there and just probably the only time on the trip we really that wasn't the only time we truly relaxed, but that was one of them. The only time in Asheville. Other than that, we were always walking somewhere, doing something, eating something, drinking something.
Fair enough.
Oh, and before we went to Sierra Nevada, we jumped into South Carolina real quick. And we went to a brewery called Swamp Rabbit.
Swamp Rabbit.
They make some good stuff there.
Interesting.
Small brewery.
Nice. You ready for a second beer?
Damn yeah.
All right. I will open mine as well.
It is. Which one is my second one? I think this is my second one, right? This is the West Coast. I don't know. Should I drink the New England style Dipper first or the West Coast first? If I drink the West Coast first, I probably won't be able to. No, I'm going to drink the West Coast first.
There you go.
So Burial was a lot of fun.
Yes, there you go. So what are you? What is your second beer there, sir?
This is Tonin the Destroyer.
Tomin
the Destroyer.
Tomin
the Destroyer. This is a West Coast India Pale Ale, West Coast style India Pale Ale. Their labels.
Oh yeah.
Look at this. It's like literally insanity.
Yeah, pretty much.
And my shirt is from Burial.
There you go.
I didn't get the particular beer that goes with this, I don't think, but all these tentacles and all that's like very Lovecraftian, so I had to get.
I had to wear a beer shirt on the beer podcast.
There you go.
But I chose this one for a couple reasons. One, because it's in Queens.
It is. The Mets are in Queens,
but
right now they're in the Bronx.
Bronx, right? And 2, it's the same colors, or 2 of the 4, same colors as the jersey I'm wearing.
Black and orange.
And I'm wearing this jersey because right now the Mets are playing, and we're not watching.
Nope.
They're playing the Yankees, and hopefully they will win tonight because
they lost the first game of the 3-game series.
I cannot believe that. I cannot believe. No offense to Yankee fans, but Domingo Germán, okay, is not Cy Young. No. He's not Max Scherzer. He's not even Nestor Cortez. Okay, for your Yankee fans.
He's also not Albert Einstein.
That too. And he somehow beat. There you go. He somehow beat Max Scherzer last night. I don't get it.
Well, because the only person that gave Scherzer any run support was Vogelbach.
Right.
The big boy. Oh, and this is a Burial glass.
It's the bottom of the second, and it's nothing. Just so you know.
DeGrom's pitching tonight, right?
No. They moved him back to Thursday. Taiwan Walker is pitching tonight.
Okay. But yeah, so this is typical Burial. You got all these butterflies, but they're coming out of the mouth of his skull.
Of course.
Of course they are. So Uriel, I forget what the first thing I drank was, but I think it was a Pilsner of some sort. But then we moved to a couple of the sours. I had one of the stouts. They do pastry stouts.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
They rival Angry Chair.
Really?
In flavor and diabetes.
Diabetes.
Woof. I mean, I could barely finish it. It's just so over the top sweet. But the flavors in it and just the number of ingredients they put in this thing and the fact that you can actually almost taste every single one of them. It was astonishing. They did a great job. You could taste the cashews. There's cashews in it.
Oh, wild. That's great.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in that one. I can't remember else what was in there, but man, that was really really tasty. But I couldn't finish the glass.
Nice.
And it was a 10-ounce pour.
That's funny.
It's like wow.
That's great.
Bring some insulin with you, unless you really really like the sweet pastry stouts. If you like the sweet pastry stouts, oh my god,
More power to you. Exactly.
That's amazing.
I had one, and I'll get to that in a second. Let me put on my beer first. The beer I'm drinking right now. I'm going back to the Veil. Hide your heart right there. So it's
that's a song reference.
8% New England, double New England. So, and of course it's a double New England. So I just had to pour it in a treehouse glass.
And that's where it belongs, right?
That's where it belongs. So, cheers. It's a pretty beer.
Cheers. Oh, so this one. Look at the color. This is a straw-colored IPA. It's showing up a lot darker.
Should be for that, yeah. Oh wow, this is amazing.
It's showing a lot darker. I think maybe if I bring it right back here, you might get a better idea.
It's good beer.
So no, that was great. We had a very light dinner there because we had eaten so much the day before at CCQ.
Okay.
I had the tomato toast.
Tomato toast. Any avocado on it?
No.
Just tomato
and toast. It's not an avocado tomato toast. It's just tomato toast. It was really good.
So toast with tomatoes on it.
Yep.
Any salt and pepper? Any?
Oh yeah. There was herbs and spices and stuff like that, and toast.
And toast
underneath it all.
Gotcha. I actually made myself the other day, because I haven't had one in a while. A really nice BLT.
Yeah, I know you like your BLTs.
I like my BLTs.
What about the MLTs?
Mutton, lettuce, and tomato. Oh, when the mutton is nice and lean.
Lean. Gotta get your MLT in every now.
You gotta have it. So anyway, another amazing movie. So,
yes,
on the top 10 on my top 10 list. That's for sure.
It's definitely up there for me.
I gotta ask you. All right. There are only a couple of movies that are on my top 10 of all time list that were not comedies from the 80s.
Well, some of mine, I've got a bunch of comedies on there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many. I mean, anybody who knows me knows Star Wars.
Mind you, one of the ones that's not a comedy from the 80s was a comedy from the 70s.
No.
So, all right. And I'll give you a guess which one it is. Just that one comedy from the 70s.
One comedy from the 70s.
Come on.
I'm sure I know, but
if you know me, you know what it is. You can figure it out like that.
Was it a late 70s?
No, early
70s.
Closer to mid, but early still.
Then no, I'm gonna go duh once you say it, but say
it. It's Headley.
Headley.
Yeah. Look, it's Hedy Lamarr.
Hedy Lamarr.
That's
there we
Headley.
go. Hadley. Blazing Saddles.
There you go.
You've seen that meme where Blazing Saddles has been edited for TV. It'll be running tonight between 8 and 8:08.
Right. 8 and 8:05, actually. He gave it too much credit.
He gave it 3 more. Let me whip this out.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Yeah, I think those whole 5 minutes will just be the campground scene with them farting.
Farting, right? Exactly.
Badges? We don't need those stinking badges.
Yeah, that's a great movie. Could you imagine if they tried to release that movie today?
See, actually, you can't release that movie today.
No, but I mean, think about it. Like back in the day,
none of the Mel Brooks movies could be released.
Of
today.
course, no, definitely not. But think about it though. Like back in the day, we always said, always said, like, while these movies are, they don't push any envelopes. They can't push the boundaries. They Could you imagine 30 years from now what's going to be in movies and what they're going to be able to do now if they're just doing this? No.
Yeah, right. No, we took a step backwards.
Absolutely.
On that.
Unbelievable.
No, my favorite Mel Brooks movie is Young Frankenstein, and that's in my top 10.
You mean no? You said it wrong.
No, Frankenstein.
No, Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Oh, you must be Igor. No, it's Igor.
Igor.
Wasn't that hump on the
hump?
What hump?
What hump?
Never mind.
Frau Brucke.
Do you know why they would always do that when they said her name?
Brucke.
Because Blucher is German for
glue.
Glue. It's awesome. What's some great movies? But I think History of the World Part 2. But the best part of History of the World Part 2 is there was no History of the World Part 1.
Part 1, right?
Yeah. And there were like previews for the follow-ups to the movie that never occurred, of course, like Jews in Space.
Jews in Space, right? Yeah.
And of course, Mel Brooks is the one who wrote The Producers, and the play within the play was Springtime for Hitler.
Right.
So he got away with stuff that he could not get away with today.
Oh no, absolutely.
Oh, like the jig is up and gone.
And gone, right? Yeah, you
could not
saying that
now.
today.
He could get away with it.
Say when? 8:30. I'm going to have a treasure bath.
He's a eunuch. He's dead.
He's dead.
The peasants are revolting, yes, and they smelt it too.
Yeah, they stink on ice.
You look like a piss boy.
And you look like a bucket of...
Yeah, we could do this all night.
I know.
But anyway.
You flank? Get the flunk out of here.
Don't get saucy with me, Bernays.
There you go.
One of my favorite lines.
Keep searching. You'll find it.
Oh, what a great movie.
Yeah. It was there's parts of that movie where you can't stop laughing. No, because by the time you actually are coming down from one laugh, you're coming up on another laugh.
Man, like, we all step into one step. You're shaking my tits off. I did see a meme today that last night that made me laugh. It's like, Jesus comes to a restaurant. Table for 26, please. But there's only 13 of you. Yes, but we're all going to sit on the same side. Yeah.
Sure.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But any rate, beer, right? We're talking about beer.
That's what this is. I forgot. All right.
We were at Burial Brewing, right?
Nothing if not entertaining. Yeah.
Yes. But Burial Brewing, having some fun at Burial Brewing. Some great beers there. I didn't show you the can from Barami because apparently skulls are a big thing in Asheville.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is a beautiful can, and there's too much of a glare off the lamp for you to get a really good appreciation for it. But Bramari, I keep saying it wrong. Bramari,
yeah. Nice.
Right there. Really good food there, too. They had buffalo chicken dip stuffed mushrooms.
Buffalo chicken dipped stuffed mushrooms.
No, not dip. Buffalo chicken dip stuffed mushrooms.
Oh, buffalo chicken dip stuffed mushrooms.
Yes, they stuffed the mushrooms with buffalo chicken dip, if you had not figured that out by now.
Nice.
Yeah, the food was really good.
Very nice.
So that was a lot of fun. We went to One World Brewing, another one outside the city, Zillicoa. We went to Green Man, because you got to go to Green Man while you're there.
Mm-hmm.
We made a mistake and we went to the new space rather than going into their old brew pub, which is still standing.
Fair enough.
And that brew pub, I took a picture inside of it because it's so cool. We still should have gone in. Went to Asheville. We went to High Wire. High Wire was a lot of fun. It was cool. Sure. And I'm going to get, don't write letters, but I did go to the Funkatorium. Yes, they're owned by Anheuser-Busch. We went in. We had one because you're in Asheville. You need to go to the Funkatorium. Have one of those beers and an antacid.
Well, of course you have to have an antacid. And nobody's look. You know how I feel about all of that. Okay, I get.
But
look, I get it. I don't want to give Bud any undue money anyway.
Right.
But we're only screwing ourselves out of amazing beer.
And we're also not supporting the people that work in those places.
Absolutely. I mean,
Still, did I walk away with any bottles from there? No. because that's how, I don't know how much good that's doing for the people that work there, but whatever. So we had to go to Funkatorium. We went to one place called Twin Leaf. It was karaoke night.
Mm-hmm.
No, I spared everybody. Did not sing. But this one lady got up and she starts singing "Shallow" by Lady Gaga from "A Star Is Born."
Okay, fair enough.
And it's like, okay, that's good. But when she hit the chorus and started belting that out, everyone at the brewery went nuts. She nailed it.
Really?
Yeah, It was impressive. It sent chills down your spine just to hear it. It was something else.
Nice.
So it was, I because on the verses she was just so kind of lackluster on it.
Sure.
And then she just let it all out during the chorus. It reminded me of that one, was he a high school or college newscaster that was just waiting for the bam, what was it? Bam Goes the Dynamite.
Yep.
Remember that video?
Yep.
Where he's just messing everything up, and then just the one moment, bam goes the boom, boom or bam or bang. What was it?
Bang.
Bang, bang goes the dynamite, and he nailed that part, and that he became a internet sensation for it.
Whatchamacallit? Speaking of that, I was at a bottle share on Sunday.
Sunday, thanks for the invite.
It wasn't my bottle share. I didn't have a bottle share. I went to a bottle share.
I see. Gotcha.
And I did have this. One of the many bottles we had was this.
I've had that. That is an amazing beer.
It's an amazing beer.
It's an amazing beer.
It is. I mean, like I said, I feel the same way you do. I feel the same way everybody else does, but we're only screwing ourselves.
Well, the thing is, if you're at a bottle share, you didn't pay for it, so
right.
There's no guilt there.
There's no guilt, right?
So,
no. And speaking of going places, just got to bring this up. Right now, one of our producers,
that
my business partner,
probably Potensky, because he's the one who travels all the time.
He's not commenting in tonight because
he hasn't commented. He hasn't commented.
No, I know. Well, he was actually hosting a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's
he only participates when I'm not around anymore. I'm going to take this freaking personal.
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then what I say we have to do next week? We have to feature one of his underwater photography.
Features one of right, of course.
Because of what day it is. We're not going to spoil it.
We won't spoil it. We'll just pay attention next week. But in any event, so he is somewhere tonight. The reason he's not paying attention is because he's somewhere tonight. He just texted me a picture not a minute and a half ago, 90 seconds ago. And this is the picture. I put it up here. There you go. Okay. That is his current location.
And he's a Mets fan.
No, he's not.
Damn it. I knew there was something I didn't like about the guy.
He is a Yankees fan. So he's sitting out in the outfield. Clearly.
I hope that polar bear knocks a ball off of his head.
You know what? To him, I'd be happy with. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You need someone to do something.
Rows in front of him, I'd be happy with. How about this? Actually, Pete Alonso, right now, tonight, I'd be happy he just gets a hit. He doesn't even have.
He was 0 for last night.
He was. He's like 4 for 33 right now.
Yeah, he's in a little bit of a slump. Right now, Vogelbach and Beatty are and Lindor's staying hot.
Yeah, and McNeil is insane right now, and Kana's not. Kanya is not. Is don't forget to.
Kanya, believe it.
Still 0-0. Still 0-0.
So let's see. Let's get back to Asheville.
Yeah. Let's finish up Asheville. We got some news to talk about too.
We do. So we got to get through there.
Finish up Asheville.
I'm not going to do too much more about Asheville because our top threes involves Asheville. So we'll be talking a little bit more about Asheville. So let's move on.
Just finish up your like another feature of your trip. I mean, I know you did do your postmortem, like you said, and
let's move because there's more to do because we went up into Shenandoah. We did some horseback riding in Shenandoah.
Okay.
First time since she was like a little girl that Carrie did horseback riding. So the horse they gave her, Dude, the horse's name was Dude. Mm-hmm. He was one of those that on a trail ride just sticks his nose in the lead horse's ass and just follows. Every now and then he'll grab some grass, but other than that, it's good. They put me on Gus.
Okay.
Gus is a mule. Mules are called, the term being a mule, it means one thing in the beer world. So Gus did not bring me any beer from anywhere. but being a mule outside of the beer world just means a stubborn person.
Right. Right. Of course.
And Gus was a typical mule, and he was stubborn. Gus wanted to go his own way. And they said to me beforehand, it's been described that Gus's power steering is broken.
Mm-hmm.
So with most horses, you just have to pull a little bit on the lead to one side to get him to turn. Gus, you got to yank that bastard's head around to get him to do what you want him to do. But it was a lot of fun because I've been, horseback riding a few times. And eventually you want to get to the point where you've got a horse that you actually do have to steer. Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Gus challenged me. My shoulders were pretty sore by the time the hour and a half ride was over. Keeping him on the trail and keeping him from going into the woods, taking his own route. But that was a lot of fun. We went into a cavern, Endless Caverns. First time Kerry was ever in a cavern, so that was kind of cool.
Really?
We did find one.
First time I was ever in a cavern wasn't too far from Asheville. It was actually in Virginia. It was Luray Caverns, actually.
No, I'm talking about Shenandoah. We are in Virginia.
No, I know. I'm just
saying. I'm talking about Virginia. Endless Caverns was in Virginia.
I know. I'm just saying it wasn't too far from Asheville, where it is in Luray. But
Asheville, no, that's quite a ride from Luray to Asheville. Yeah, we were driving all day the day before.
Okay, fair enough.
It's quite a ride up there. We actually dipped into Tennessee on the way up. But there was Endless Caverns, which is on the other side of the ridge from Luray Caverns. And from what I understand, they actually pronounce it Luray there. So we heard it pronounced that way a few times. So we did find one brewery that was open, and that was Woodstock Brewworks.
Woodstock Brewworks, yes.
Because Woodstock Brewing is up in Woodstock, New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been there a few times. There's some pretty decent food and actually pretty good beer. So
nice.
That wasn't too bad. But the next day, the beer definitely got better because our first stop was Aslan.
Nice.
And then, of course, after Aslan, just down the road on 14th, is Church Key. That beer list.
Mm-hmm.
There's very few places where you're going to find a better beer list.
Was there any coastal brewworks on it?
No, that was one of the faults. No coastal brewworks on it. To get a better beer list, you would have to go into the old Spite and Dival, up to maybe the 3 Penny Tap Room, right up there. And I was at Montpelier.
Montpelier, yeah. Navarre Res when you weren't there.
When I'm not there. The front end of the answer, which is Mekong.
Sure.
That beer list is insane. How good that beer list.
Eulogy.
God bless its soul.
Mm-hmm.
Eulogy.
We never did a proper eulogy for Eulogy.
No, we never did. Eulogy had a binder. And when I was there, I told the waitress, I'm just going to order anything that I can't pronounce.
Right. Yeah, right.
That's going to be a lot of beer. I'm like, I'm going to be here a while.
There you go.
That's the first time I ever had a mustard seed beer.
Irene Wilkins just commented, and she says the brewery she works at is Hillman.
Hillman. Did not get to Hillman. We were supposed to go to Hillman. Hillman is south of Asheville. We did go to something called Blue Ghost, which isn't too far from Hillman. We're going to do Blue Ghost, then we're going to go to Hillman after that. But when I went to pay at Blue Ghost, I realized I had left my credit card back in South Carolina.
That's not good.
Yeah, at the Whistle Stop Cafe, as a matter of fact, where we got some fried green tomatoes.
There you go.
I shit you not. That's exactly what we did. So,
I also want to point out too that Urban Farmhouse just liked our video.
Fabio, very nice.
Fabio, cheers, Fabio.
Cheers, buddy. I miss that place. I need to get. I go back to Italy. Do I go back just for Urban Farmhouse? Maybe. The burgers were that damn good.
Why don't we just go next week? Let's just hop a flight, go over there, hang out with Fabio for a couple of days, and come back.
Sure. We go. Just tell. Oh my God, I forgot my host's name while I was there.
Are you kidding me?
That's awful.
That is awful.
That is awful. How can I forget his name? Just hit him up. Say, hey, we're gonna crash for a bit. We'll bring you some beer, and take it to a couple of other breweries and be like, yeah, okay. He'll be fine with. I remember his name. This is killing me. At any rate, moving on because
I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see if you remember it. You sure?
I'll remember it eventually. So at any rate, so yeah, after that, we went to the other half space in Ivy City, DC.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful space. And it's other half, so it's other half beer. And I know there's a lot of people that love other half beer. I'm one of the freaks who's kind of over them.
Hold that thought.
Hmm?
Fabio just said cheers to you guys.
There's Fabio.
There you go. Cheers. One more time. Cheers, Fabio. There you go.
Very nice.
Yes. He's listening. What's it? It's 1 o'clock in the morning over there right now, right? Or 2 o'clock in the morning. 1 o'clock.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
It's 6 hours.
Yeah, it's 2 o'clock in the morning over there. So cheers, Fabio. Thanks for watching.
He's probably about 7 or 8 in.
Yeah, sure enough. Sure.
It's his job. He's got to taste everything.
There you go. Right. Cool. All right, so let's get to some news.
We gotta get some news.
Let's get to some news.
Just want to see if there was anything else. Oh, the only other thing, we hit a brewery in Maryland called Fifth Company.
Anything to report about?
It's good. They do a Kentucky Common there.
They do a Kentucky Common?
I said do.
You said do.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Paolo was the host.
Paolo, yes.
Paolo was on the show.
I was waiting for you to say that. See, I remember that. There's a mnemonic device not even a mnemonic device. There's something that I did to remember his name, and it was pretty easy. Well, fortunately, unfortunately, however you want to look at it, depending on your likes or dislikes, I've seen every episode of Friends probably 97,000 times.
Okay.
And Rachel used to date a Paolo in the first season.
But we got to say, because we're talking about Urban Farmhouse. Urban Farmhouse is in Pordenone, which is in the state of Friuli Veneto. Friuli Veneto.
Right. Yeah.
Which was just north of Venice, but also east of Venice.
So you might say it was northeast of Venice.
One might say that. One might say that. I didn't. You did. So you're one. The other one did not. It's really a neat. We were in a lot of small towns in Italy. We were in Canigliano, Valdobbiadene. We were in Venice. We weren't totally thrilled with Venice.
How did you get around in Venice?
Walked.
Really?
Yeah, we never took one of the
on the water.
Yeah, never took a boat.
Very Jesus of you.
Yes. Never took a boat, just walked around. No, we walked over all the bridges and all that. It's a maze of streets, but we went to Trieste, went to a lot of places, but I got to say my favorite town actually was Pordenone. It was just so much about it that I love.
Well, I mean, to be quite honest with you, you could tell me anything about any other town that you went to. Everything that I saw on our show that night and everything you told me about Pordenone, especially just because of Urban Farmhouse.
Yeah, they're a big part of it.
Done.
Yep.
Done.
Big part of it, but it's such a
hands down winner right there.
It's an amazing place, Urban Farmhouse, with the diaphragm burgers, as they call them.
Nice.
Would we call them brisket burgers, I think?
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe. But they got the diaphragm burgers, and they've got so many inventive ways of making it, and just an amazing beer list.
Right.
And when you look into the beer cooler, and you see Cantillons in the beer cooler, it's like
you can't beat it. You can't beat it.
So, all right. So we're going to get a little closer to home now.
A little close, back closer to home.
Because we've been in Maine, we've been in DC, Asheville, we've been in Virginia, we've been in Italy, we've South Carolina. We've been kind of all over except for home.
I'll have some Pittsburgh news in about 5 weeks to report on. So
okay, so we'll get to Pittsburgh because you'll be heading off.
Going to Pittsburgh the first weekend in October. Yeah. So.
Very nice.
So, anyway, that being said, the last several weeks on the show, other than last week, obviously we were off vacation-wise, everything. Our August vacation week that we do.
You know what? Yeah, I did. Did you get the memory that we were on vacation this time last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's apparently well because we were in Portland.
Because we're in Portland, right? Yeah.
And the same thing will probably happen next year because I will probably, although we may have to do a show because I will probably be in Ireland that time next year.
Well, there you go. Well, sure, we could do that.
Maybe possibly from St. James Gate.
It's fine with me. And you know what I'll do? I'll go down to AC and go to St. James Gate.
No, you need to go to Baltimore.
I'll go to Baltimore. Go to St. James Gate.
No, it's not called St. James Gate there. It's got a different name for that brewery. And you can see it on the cans. For the ones that are brewed in Baltimore, they changed the name on the cans. I forget what it's called. Anyway.
So for the last several weeks, we've been talking about what's going on in New Jersey with this New Jersey ABC, alcoholic beverage control special ruling. I don't have to read. If you're watching the show, if you haven't, if this is the first show you watch, go back and watch the others, or just Google New Jersey ABC special ruling.
And real quick, we'll just go to it real quick. It was something that it came about in 2018.
19. It started in 2018. They ruled in 2019.
They ruled in they drafted in 2018. It was ruled in 2019. Mm-hmm. Then COVID hit. They really relaxed on following any of it. The only law that was really on the books at the time before that ruling came out was the need for a tour before any consumption.
Right.
That was always the law. But then the restrictions on only 25 events a year, no food trucks, no outside beverages whatsoever, alcoholic or non-alcoholic.
Nothing.
Only 2 televisions, no greater than 62 inches?
65 inches.
65 inches.
If you have a TV outside in your outdoor space and you turn it on, you have to turn one of the 2 that are inside off.
Yep. So these are some of the restrictions.
Overreaching, ridiculous restrictions. Anyway, so a lot of people have circled the wagon, so to speak, and they've come about, and not just obviously breweries, but towns, but municipalities, counties. We'll start with that first.
Okay, start with the counties.
Yeah, Monmouth County. All right, Vin Gopal. Okay, it's a very long letter, but I'll read the first couple of paragraphs. Last month, and he wrote this, and it said he's the Star Ledger guest columnist. All right, Vin Gopal. Vin Gopal is obviously the county executive of Essex County, right?
Obviously.
Well, obviously to us, but
I was thinking to you. I'm like, who's the hell's Vin Gopal?
All right. Last month, a special ruling by the New Jersey Division of Alcoholic Beverage Control took effect, placing a set of strict restrictions on the operations of New Jersey craft breweries. As businesses in the state continue to deal with the aftershocks of the pandemic, historic inflation, and a rash of supply chain issues driving up costs, this ruling came at a particularly bad time for New Jersey breweries. Really, especially, and I'm paraphrasing here. This isn't in the article.
Especially because
since they released this ruling the day that the entire state went on vacation. In other words, that's what they did. All right. So anyway,
something got stuck up the director's ass now, didn't it?
So the ABC's ruling also reflects a lack of clarity surrounding how state regulators should treat New Jersey breweries, which typically have limited brewery licenses that are separate from liquor license obtained by bars and restaurants. With both those economic concerns and the ongoing lack of
nice and clear.
With both those economic concerns and the ongoing lack of clarity regarding brewery regulations in mind, I joined a bipartisan group of legislators this week in introducing legislation, and there's a link to the legislation that they introduced, which will seek to ease the restrictions imposed on New Jersey breweries while also providing more clarity to state regulators. And it goes on. I'm going to post this right after the show. I'm going to post this on our Facebook page. I'll post this whole article on the Facebook page. Read through it. So Vin Gopal is and Monmouth County is and rightfully so, because Monmouth County has the biggest concentration of breweries
and
any county in the entire state,
and has the 2 most popular breweries.
It has the two most popular breweries in the state in Carton Brewing and Kane Brewing.
Yep,
and also has this other brewery that we've mentioned from time to time on the
which right now doesn't quite exist in Monmouth County.
Which right now doesn't quite exist in Monmouth County. Only in me.
Only one of the owners.
Only in me does it exist in Monmouth County. But
anyway,
but
yes.
So anyway, we'll post this on the Facebook page. Check it out and comment on it, and also we'll put up on the Facebook page. We'll put up the text links to text your congressman, text your state legislators, and everything else as well.
And I think it's working. They're listening, and we're starting to see more and more support. So I know John talked about the counties. Some of the municipalities are coming out in support.
Yep.
Let's start with Hackensack.
Hackensack, the city council voted. I'm sorry, the city council this week voiced its support for the city's breweries as they reckon with new state restrictions on their ability to hold events like trivia, music nights, host private parties, and work with food trucks and vendors. A resolution passed by the council Monday opposes the new conditions placed on the brewery licenses by the State Division of Alcoholic Beverage Control and calls for New Jersey lawmakers to work with the breweries to develop a smart and fair law revisions to guide the industry.
Now, what's interesting about what they said, one, they're opposing. So they're not doing anything to overturn or outright defy them. They are opposing, which is awesome. I love a lot of the language behind it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the interesting things in the language of the letter, it's not a letter really, but the resolution that they've voted on, is they talk about how the breweries have added new life to the city.
Sure.
And excitement and energy. And because they don't serve food, and ... So that sentence there really kind of caught my attention because, okay, they're saying we're going to support our breweries. We're not going to fight for them to be able to serve food. However, they will fight for them to be able to work with local food vendors.
Yep.
Which is food trucks.
Yep.
Or other, you can do what they do you see this in Rhode Island a lot, where they have pop-ins, like little pop-up kitchens in the breweries from other restaurants that'll come there and cook and serve and sell their food in the brewery.
I'll tell you right now, that'll never happen in New Jersey.
Nope.
Food trucks is another
That's
fact,
the thing.
and they really need to work on that. They really do. But the pop-ins, like you said, in Rhode Island never work. And one perfect example of that is in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania can have food in breweries.
Yeah.
Some breweries do, some breweries don't.
Some do their own, some have a pop-in.
Such
like
as
Human Robot.
They have Poe sandwiches.
Like these guys, no, you can't read it, but I've got it upside down.
The stanch.
Robot, yeah. It's on the stand. You couldn't see it because there's dark liquid in this. Because, you buy a stanch, you want dark liquid on it because the stanch, because your Kolsch is normally not going to be black.
Okay. So it makes a point to sell both a dark printed one and a light printed one.
But in a stanch, unless you're doing a black Kolsch, what's the point? Anyway.
Well, the stanch is a different story, but anyway.
Different story. So Hackensack has come out in support of their breweries. They've been very specific with their wording. Mm-hmm. But now we've got one municipality who is outright defying the state.
Mm-hmm. And that would be
Bricktown.
Brick Township fights against restrictive liquor laws.
And they don't even have a brewery yet. They've got one coming in.
They got one coming in. Icarus Brewing in Lakewood is moving to Brick. And it's going to be probably another year before they're there. But they're all over it. And I'll read the first couple paragraphs of this, too. In Brick, New Jersey, the governing body recently expanded the areas of town where breweries could operate. At least one is scheduled to open at the site of a former restaurant supply store on Route 88, where Icarus Brewing will relocate.
Is it the dark side of Route 88?
It's the dark side of Route 88.
No, that's actually in Lakewood. Never mind. It's Lake Carasalgo. Greasy Lake is Lake Carasalgo in Lakewood. Anyway.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. No. Well, no. I mean, Icarus is literally a block off of Route 88 in Lakewood. Yes.
Right now?
Right now.
You mean 70?
No, 88. Right now.
88 in Lakewood?
Yeah. You're on 88. You make a left, and you make a left into Strathmore, and then you go down there.
I guess they're okay.
They're maybe 2 blocks if you want.
It's a little bit more than that because you go any further and you're at the stadium.
Yeah. I mean, you go down 88. You make the left at the one road that the Lakewood Blue Claw Stadium's at. Yep. You go to the next light, make a left and a right, and you're right at Icarus.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So they're not too far off 88. So they're really moving down the block technically.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But in any event, so now that we've done the geography,
yes.
While Icarus Brewing will relocate from its current location to Lakewood Industrial Park under the new New Jersey Division of Alcohol and Beverage Control (ABC) regulations, Icarus and other breweries would not be allowed to go to off-site festivals. I mean, they are, but I mean,
they can, but it's
limited. They're limited.
They're limiting them,
right? And they would be limited to 52 private parties a year, and obviously some other stuff too. Said Mayor John C. Ducey.
Ducey.
All right. during the July 26th council meeting. The ABC has also placed restrictions on a type of TV shows the breweries can have on and the music they can play. They would not be allowed to sell coffee or non-alcoholic beverages, the mayor said, not even water or soda. During the meeting, the governing body voted on and passed a resolution in opposition of these special conditions on limited brewery licenses. Liquor licenses haven't been changed in the state since right after Prohibition, when New Jersey instituted their overall liquor licenses. They are so restrictive, and said Mayor Ducey, who serves as the chairman of the New Jersey League of Municipalities Liquor License Task Force.
Oh, so there's some clout.
Right.
Good for him. And and this is coming from a state, the first brewery in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
What state was that in?
Very first brewery in the United States.
Hoboken, New Jersey.
Yep.
The very first, and they were more progressive back then, apparently.
Look, I'm sorry, and I'm going to say this one more time, and I'm not going to say it again.
Yes, you will.
You can't. Well, tonight anyway.
Tonight. Okay.
You can't. You really can't convince me that Anheuser-Busch is not somewhat behind this.
And I will agree with you, considering on the show, I think I said it before you did, that Big Beer has to be involved in this.
Sure.
Anything that they can do, because every year they lose a segment, they lose percentage share.
Yep.
So
it's ridiculous.
I opened a third beer, John.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it up. What did you open?
Preternatural Ambiance.
Preternatural Ambiance.
It's like H.P. Lovecraft wrote the name of this beer. And the great thing about the label, I'm wearing the label.
There you go.
I had to buy this beer because of the label. This is one of those beers that people who don't like IPAs, double IPAs, will hate.
Right.
This is one of those big, juicy, dank. And what I like about this particular one, the IBUs aren't 0. So it's not a typical New England, despite the fact that it is hazy as hell. I mean, you can really see the logo on the glass a lot better now with this one in it.
Right. Yeah, you can.
So look at that. That's just, you can't see through that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So this is one of those beers. You've had one of them. You might be done for the night.
Mm-hmm. You, on the other hand, not so much.
No, maybe not so much. But this is my last one.
There you go.
Because actually, the Airbnb we stayed at in Shenandoah, they're big craft beer fans. So I left him one of each of the 4 beers we bought while we were out there.
Nice.
Yeah. Highwire, we bought their brown, and I've never seen this before. They're 16-ounce cans.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 6-pack.
A 6-pack of 16-ounce cans.
6-pack of 16-ounce cans.
Really?
I'm like, because I went to grab it, and I was surprised when 2 extra cans came. What the hell? It's awesome. Yeah, so it's like, oh, okay, fine, you're coming with me.
There you go. That's great. By the way, just a quick update. Taiwan Walker was pitching a no-hitter through the bottom of the 4th, or till the bottom of the 4th. He's given up 4 hits in a run in the bottom of the 4th. So now, so it's 1-0 Yankees right now.
Well, 2 outs, man on third. So hopefully you can get this one out.
Hopefully.
And the 4th inning, it seems to be their Achilles heel because the last game of the Phillies, the 4th inning, who the hell was pitching? He gave up the second 3-run homer to the same guy.
Yeah.
Or
I got to be honest with you, that's that game on Sunday in Philly, and I'm sure if you watch the Get On With It Sports podcast tomorrow night, we'll be talking about this again, but probably a little bit longer in depth. But in any event, when they gave up the 4 runs, was it the 4 runs in the bottom of the 1st?
Yes.
When the rookie Budo gave up the 4 runs in the bottom of the 1st. I was, you got to be kidding me. We're going to split with the Phillies, blah, 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 everything else, right? I forget who I was talking to. I couldn't remember who it was I was talking to. But I was talking to somebody right then after the bottom of the 1st. and whoever it was, and I'm giving them kudos. I cannot remember who it was, but if it was you,
It wasn't me.
call me and let me know it was you. I can't remember who it was. They said, relax. This is going to be one of those 10-9 Mets wins.
And guess what happened?
Said it in the bottom of the first after the 4 runs were given up. And it was 10-9 Mets won. Unbelievable.
Yep.
There you go. Oh, wait. We got a comment here. Was it you? Was it?
No, it's a different comment.
There we go. Ansel Tolgar says, am I saying that right? Tolgar? Let me know. Used to live and brew in...
that's Asheville.
Asheville, yeah. Thank you. Highwire is a blast. Absolutely. Highwire is an awesome.
We loved Highwire. So Carrie and I do geocaching, and there is a craft beer geocache.
Mm-hmm.
It's a multi-cache where you've got to go. To give you clues as to where the container is to find, there are pictures that are close-ups of some elements in the breweries.
Sure.
And it starts at Highwire.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to Highwire and you have to try to find the picture that's in Highwire.
Mm-hmm.
And so you go to all these different breweries. So it was Highwire, it was One World, it was Breweries, it was Catawba, it was Twin Leaf, and it was Green Man. Mm-hmm. And you had to find that particular picture and say, okay, so that's this brewery. And it'll say, like, what's the 5th letter of the brewery? Or how many E's are in this brewery's name? Well, it's Catawba. There's 0. But it was a 0. The answer was 0. So that's how you could figure out the coordinates to where it was. So it starts off at Highwire. We're talking to the beer tender there. I think her name is Kelsey. I may have that right. And we're telling her that, like, you're the first stop on this geocache tour. And she's like, oh, I got to tell my partner she would love this. So hopefully that's got them on it. But it was such a really cool place to hang out. Like I said, brought the brown back. We also bought a bottle back of one of the wild ales. Can't wait to break. It's a cherry wild.
So now wait, let me ask you this though. You brought a 6-pack of the brown back.
Yeah.
Now, did you leave? Is that one of the ones you left for the?
Yes.
Okay, so you brought 5 browns back.
Yes.
Okay. What do I have to do to get one of those 5 browns?
You just did it. You just asked.
Right.
I'm saving you one of those, and I'm saving you a black Kolsch.
You're a wonderful human being.
Because I can guarantee you've never had a black Kolsch.
I have never had a black Kolsch.
I've never heard of such a thing.
I've never had a black Kolsch.
So I'm saving you a black Kolsch and one of the browns from Highway.
Well, I got to hook up with you because I have to give you a couple of things. And next Tuesday, in fact, 1 week from tonight on our show, I can tell you right now, one of the beers I will be drinking on next Tuesday's show will be this right here.
It's the new one.
I'm making the formal announcement right now. Here we go.
Here it comes. I like that label.
Freising Tide.
Like
it's our Hefeweizen.
Oh, I can't wait for that one.
I cannot either. And I had a little bit out of the fermenter yesterday, and
I know Matt is really good at yeast control. It's not going to be a banana bomb. It's not going to be a make your nose run clove bomb either.
It's going to be very balanced. It's going to be delicious. So. And so Tolgar said, good pronunciation. Thank you. Who made a black Kolsch? Please tell them, Dave.
The black Kolsch is from Breweries.
Breweries. You keep doing that.
Yeah.
I said Tolgar right. You can't say Breweries, right?
I always keep saying Breweries, but it's Breweries. Breweries made the black Kolsch. It's right here. It's called.
Ansel, just kidding.
It's called what is it called again? You've got the Murder on the Mountain.
Murder on the Mountain, yes.
Yeah, Murder on the Mountain. It's and when I saw that because they've got an extensive list, they've got some neat stuff on that list. Mm-hmm. And when I saw Black Kolsch, I'm like, okay, so we need to order this because I'm like John. You see a Schwarzbier, Tomave Pivo. That might be one of the first beers you order, unless they've got like a British mild. You might want to do the mild first. Yeah. But I saw Black Kolsch and be like, no, I'm ordering the Black Kolsch.
You got to order the Black Kolsch. Did you do the mild? Did you have the mild?
Oh, they didn't have one.
You didn't?
No, they didn't have one.
Oh, they didn't.
I'm just saying. Usually, if I see like a Schwarzbier, the only thing that's going to trump it for my first beer might be a British mild.
Fair enough.
Because it's not going to step over the Schwarzbier. The Schwarzbier will step over the mild. Mm-hmm. So,
fair enough. Now, I'm not sure if yep. So there was 4 outs, I'm
Four
sorry,
outs.
4 outs,
In what inning?
4 hits in the fourth. There was 4 hits with 1 run across and a runner on third. Okay. The third and the fourth is over. The bottom of the fourth is over,
But
but
the guy on third made it in.
yeah, but there were no other hits, which means he walked 3 batters. So it's 2-0 Yankees.
It's called
And
shooting yourself in the
walked
foot.
in, yeah, and this is why you start Jacob deGrom. Sorry, I had to say that.
You don't want Jacob deGrom to be a pitcher.
I love Buck Showalter, but I want to smack whoever made the fucking decision to start Taijuan Walker over deGrom tonight.
Stop watching the game and enjoy your beer. We got another comment.
There you go. Ansel Talgar says they make a lot of interesting stuff between pizza IPAs and killer classic styles. With a twist, Bromar is phenomenal.
Yeah, and not only that, they do cocktails there. They come out some pretty interesting colors. Their food, they're just as inventive with their food as they are with their beer. It's definitely, they've got a really nice outdoor space, a pretty interesting indoor space as well.
Right.
And it's funny because, I'm kind of torn as far as the service at the bar because it's kind of slow, but you want the service. When you get to the front, you want them to spend time brewing your beer. Pouring your beer. Sorry. They don't brew to order.
Imagine they did. Hang on. Your order will be out in 3 weeks.
Yes. Go over there. We've got a tent for you. Brew to order. That'd be hilarious. So no, they're very inventive with their styles, their cocktails, their food. Definitely recommend. And the great thing is the Airbnb we stayed at. You walk out the front door, make a left, go to the curb, make a left, 2 blocks. You're sitting in Bramari.
Yeah,
it takes you right into the backyard, and you enter in. You enter in from the back. No, I'm not even going to say that because people are going to take it wrong. You go in the back. There's no nice way to say this. So you come in through the back patio. I think that's safe.
There's an entrance behind the brewery.
Yes,
that's how you enter the tap room.
At the aft of the brewery.
Right.
There we go. Well, that's safe.
There you go.
It's really a really neat space. Yeah. And the other thing is, when we're in our Airbnb, if you make the left out of the front door, you go across the street, take a right down, cross another street, you're right at Burial. If you make a left before you get there, you're at Catawba. Mm-hmm. If you go beyond Burial, make a left, you're at Green Man.
You're right.
Before you get to Burial, if you make a right, you're in Twin Leaf's backyard. Mm-hmm. And right across from Twin Leaf is the Funkatorium. Mm-hmm. And if you make a right at the Funkatorium, go up and make a quick left, you're at Highwire. Mm-hmm. Ben's Garage or something like that is right there. We didn't go in there because we were drunk a lot. Oh my God, but there's a place called Bear's Grill or Bear's Pit Barbecue or something. My God, the food there was really good too.
So on this note, with you saying all these brewery names, I think it's perfect segue.
No, we missed something in our news.
Oh, we did.
Yes, we did. Because there has been a resolution that has been introduced into the New Jersey Senate, has it not?
Yeah, but it's not. Nothing's been determined with it yet. So.
Nothing's been determined, but we've got a bunch of legislators in New Jersey that are now pressuring the governor to take a look at this and at least put the ruling on hold until the full legislature can weigh in on the subject. And that's huge. Mm-hmm. And it is bipartisan. It's from both sides of the aisle. There's a lot of names on it. So this is something that, Slick Teeth needs to really take seriously.
Right.
That, look, I've got people from both the Republicans and the Democrats telling me I need to stomp on this ruling for now, put it on hold until we can come up with a more viable. And the most important thing about what they're saying is viable legislation, not a ruling by an unelected body, the ABC. Legislation. Yep. By those people that we have elected into office.
Right. That's what it has to be. And it has Has to
So
be.
this can't happen again,
No, exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So I think that is probably the most important piece of news. I mean, it's great that the counties at the county level and the municipal level that they're challenging this,
Mhm.
that they're saying you can't do this, this is unfair, and they're putting it in. I mean, the way they're writing these things is phenomenal.
Mhm.
But the fact that we have lawmakers in the state that are now challenging this and challenging the governor, that I think is everything, because that now is taking the right road to getting this resolved.
Yep.
So that one person, one individual who was not elected, who was appointed with a bug up his ass, and maybe possibly, dare we say it, paid off by maybe someone whose brewery next to the airport's got a huge eagle flying over it.
Right. Maybe his last name is Anheuser, or the last name is Bush. Or...
First name may be Adolphus, or at least a founder. There might be some money in pockets because that's the way New Jersey rolls. So maybe you can't have one corrupt politician make policy for the whole damn state.
Right.
So I think that's one of the most important pieces of news that we had to report today.
Fair enough. I didn't. Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping a lot comes of that, and soon. Right. Yes. But so I wanted to kind of like just leave it at that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. No, there's a lot of buzz in the state legislature. The lawmakers are talking about it. So this is a good thing.
It doesn't sound like it's just placating the voters. It sounds like they're actually not just listening to the voters, but they understand the harm that it may do to the state and the fastest growing business segment in the state.
Right. Fair enough.
So.
All right.
Before we get to the top threes, we have another comment.
And this will bring us back to the top threes, actually.
It will.
Ansel Tolgar says, South Slope is among the best beer neighborhoods in the world. Heaven for brewers. Absolutely.
He is absolutely 100% correct.
He is not wrong.
Not even close to being wrong. The only problem that I have with South Slope is that we stayed towards the upside of South Slope. So we walked down to the breweries and then drank a lot and had to walk back up.
Well, that sounds like a personal problem. So.
that's bad planning on our part. But the other, okay. So I know that one of the things that you told us was Jess told us we need to do is whole donuts. Mm-hmm. Vortex donuts is, oh my God, they were so good.
Really?
What was the donut place in Portland? Holy Donuts.
Holy Donuts, yeah.
Vortex Donuts. Vortex better.
Really?
God, yes.
Fair enough.
Eat them that day, though. Next day, they become rocks.
Well, most donuts do. You got to eat them fresh.
But
you get donuts, you got to eat them fresh.
But that is the sign of a damn good donut.
Sure.
Right? If your donut is still fresh the next day, that's not a good donut.
Well, no, because here's the thing, right? Okay, if you get a donut that's a rock the next day, that means it was friggin' amazing. Most likely amazing the fresh, when it's fresh, right? If you get a donut that 2, 3, 4 days later is still
edible,
enjoyable, that means it was basically the same way it tastes 2, 3, 4 days later.
Well, that means
there's a lot of
preservatives in it.
Preservatives in it. There's stuff that made it last or whatever. You want the donuts that you have to eat within an hour after you get them. That's when you want to get them. That's when you want to eat them. So.
Yeah, but Vortex donut is highly recommended. So, and if you go to Asheville, absolutely 100% get breakfast at Biscuit Head.
Biscuit Head.
So at the top of the show we talked about bologna. Just tomorrow is bologna sandwich hour. Between 1 to 2.
1 to 2 Eastern time. 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, August 24th. 2022, bologna sandwich hour.
So at Biscuit Head, so I got the biscuits and gravy, and it's not your traditional biscuits and gravy. I got traditional biscuits and gravy at Southern Kitchen in New Market, Virginia. They were just as good as what I make, and I will brag about my biscuits and gravy there.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
I actually had biscuits and gravy a week ago yesterday.
Nice. Don't eat too many of them. They will give you a heart attack eventually.
I'll give you 3. Well, I eat it like once or maybe twice a year or so.
You went to Butter Biscuit.
I went to Butter Biscuit, yeah.
Yes. And no offense, well, I guess it's sort of offense. It's the only use for their biscuits.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can drive nails. Well, not drive nails with them. They're just
If they're fresh,
no,
they're good. But
they're
if
fresh, they're good.
if they're a
But
couple hours old, you want
no,
to.
but they're so damn dry.
They're dry.
They're dry, and they're huge.
Mm-hmm.
Big as a toddler's head. But you
I get the same.
slather them with biscuits and gravy, and you're good. I've got
Yeah.
no problems with that.
I get the same thing I get every time I go there. I get biscuits and sausage gravy, and then I get the homemade corned beef hash
Those are the two best things on the menu.
with the briskets. Yeah, absolutely. So, anyway, all right.
And so, but also we had. So I ordered fried bologna.
Fried bologna.
Sliced this thick.
Nice.
Fried.
You got to slice it a little bit. You got to slice it a little bit thicker
for fried.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we keep trying to get to the top threes.
Let's get to the top threes. We've been talking about, obviously, we talked about Asheville. We've been talking about the breweries in Asheville. We talked about South Slope just now. Okay. So our top three list tonight.
You know you're lagging, right?
I'm lagging?
Not right now, you're not, but you were.
I was. Okay. Well, that was weird. Our top three list tonight is top three favorite Asheville, North Carolina breweries.
And so, Ansel, definitely 100% weigh in on this.
Please do.
Yeah, you're there. I'm sure Irene would put Hillman on the list because that's where her daughter works. So,
sure.
Didn't get there, so I can't comment on that.
There you go. But
what we're gonna do? No, we're gonna let Johnny go first since I've been there recently.
No.
You get to go first this time.
All right, fine, fair enough. Okay. I've never been to Asheville, but I've had a lot of beer.
You need to go
from Asheville. Okay. So I'm going to give you this is not based on taproom experiences.
Okay.
This is based on
mine will be a combo as
beer that I've had. Okay. I'm going to give you two. I just held up three fingers. I'm going to give you two. I'm going to give you two honorable mentions, and then I'll give you my top three. Okay. My honorable mentions are my first honorable mention has to be hands down, and the only reason it's an honorable mention and not one of the top three is because it's in Fletcher, North Carolina, and not Asheville, North Carolina.
And that's Sierra Nevada.
Yes. Okay. The other honorable mention is, and the only reason it is an honorable mention is because of part of its ownership.
So we're talking Wicked Weed.
Is Wicked Weed. Yes. Okay. So my top three are number 3, Catawba.
Interesting, because that was one of our two least favorites.
Really? Yeah. Well, keep in mind, I haven't been to the brewery.
You got to put this comment up.
Hold
it's
on.
Perfect. He's at, wow, that's perfect.
Sierra's beautiful. Malt Disney World. I love it, Ansel. That's great. Thank you.
This is absolutely 100% correct.
That's awesome.
That is a great way to put it.
There you go. These are just based on beers that I've had. Okay. I have not been to Asheville, so I've not experienced the tap rooms.
You need to get there.
Yeah. So.
Wait a second. Have you not been there? And Jess is recommending a donut place.
She's been to that donut place, but not in. She's been to North Carolina and been to that donut place, but not the one in Asheville.
Ah, okay. So when you go, maybe visit there, but definitely get the Vortex.
Right. Which we call it. So Catawba, Dissolver.
Okay.
Did I tell one of yours?
Oh yeah.
All right.
You may have taken number 1.
All right. There you go. And my number 1, you're wearing the shirt for my number 1. So
Burial is. Most people agree Burial might be the best brewery in all of Asheville. I'm going to throw an honorable mention only because they're not technically in Asheville proper, and that will be Zillicoa. So Zillicoa's a little north and that way. They're on the river. So they're north and west of Asheville. They're right on the river. Johnny, you would love this place. They are German styles.
Nice.
The only smoked beer I had on this trip was at Zillicoa.
Nice.
Yes. It's a warehouse, but they have the whole thing open.
Okay.
Huge outdoor space.
Mm-hmm.
They've got so much room there. They can do whatever they want. They had 2 food trucks. Both were taquerias.
Really?
It's like, why would you? Okay, whatever. But apparently they were the same company. I don't know. It made no sense.
Overflow and
I don't know,
more
but it
kitchen
was.
space.
I don't know. It was really cool. It was a really cool place to hang. We had to Uber out there because we had come from, one of my top three. Your number two, Dissolver.
Mm-hmm.
So, out of the honorable mentions now, because you got to put Sierra Nevada just because the experience is an honorable mention. But Dissolver was one of my favorites. What's really cool about Dissolver, they got a pretty neat little outdoor space there.
Mm-hmm.
But just to feel the music, I mean, so the music really reflects the whole atmosphere of the brewery. So this is kind of like a punk, almost metal. Like I said, the Asheville breweries are really into skulls and stuff and
Right.
death and mortality, and I don't know if they just smoke way too much weed there and they get so introspective that this is what happens in Asheville. It's just a really neat place. Their shirts were so damn cool, but unfortunately they didn't have any shirts left because apparently everyone that goes to that brewery is shaped like me. Not a complete total fat bastard, but definitely not slim.
Well, that happened to you last August too. One of the breweries you went to that you wanted to get a shirt, there was only one of your sizes left, and some asshole beat you out to get the t-shirt.
Yeah, there's some asshole wearing Mets gears right now. So at any rate, it's such a cool hang. It's the only place that I bought 2 bottles of the same beer.
Really?
Because, so I mentioned Twin Leaf. Twin Leaf probably made one of the worst Mexican stouts I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Apparently someone there really, 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 really likes cinnamon. It was just an absolute cinnamon bomb. You could feel the cinnamon in your mouth.
Yeah.
Dissolver redeemed Asheville for me by brewing one of the greatest Mexican stouts I've ever had.
Nice.
It was absolutely fantastic. I brought 2 bottles of that home. One is to share with Carrie's aunt, who I don't know if she's gonna be able to drink it because there is chilies in it. She can't I think a green pepper is too much for her. So we'll see. But one of them I did bring one back for a bottle share.
Cool.
So we'll have to figure out where we're going to do that.
Okay.
The beer there everything was just perfect. Mm-hmm. So Dissolver is definitely up there. They may be the number 1 while I was there. Burial for sure. Like I said, the only gripe I had with Burial was how damn sweet those stouts are. But that's what it is. They're brewing to that particular pastry stout fad, just like Angry Chair, just like Bolero. Mm-hmm. We've got, I'm sure we can name a few other breweries that have, gone in. Even you showed the glass earlier, Treehouse, mm-hmm. right? Some of their pastry stouts, your teeth are going to rot while you're drinking them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right.
I never when I actually go and buy. When I actually go and drink at the tap room, because when you go to Treehouse, you can drink in their tap room. You get 2 beers. Mm-hmm. Everybody can have 2 beers. You actually get you get a wristband. When you order one, they put a mark on it, and when you order a second one, they put another mark on it. So
and you're done.
Can't order. You're done too. So I never order a pastry stout. Ever. No. I never order a hazy IPA. If I'm going to get it, if I want a hazy or I want a pastry stout, I'm buying it to take home and share it.
But one of my favorite breweries on the planet
or drink on the podcast, whatever.
Does do pastry stouts, but they don't do them to the point of diabetes, and that's Trillium.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong; they will do some, that'll spike your blood sugar, mm-hmm. This by smelling it. Sure. But for the most part, they're very, very restrained in their milk sugars mm-hmm. When they brew them. So, at any rate, that was the only, and the hang at Burial is so cool. Mm-hmm. They've got this gutted. Like SUV, microbus, whatever, and it's just covered in brewery stickers.
Right.
And I did I show you one of the brewery stickers that's on the dashboard?
You did not.
It's Bolero Snort.
Oh, you did. You did.
Right, so,
and I said, that's when I told you that. Too bad that I didn't give you
any Coastal Brewer stickers.
Stickers to bring down with.
Yeah, I think the only sticker that I slathered anywhere at Asheville was one of the this weekend Roush beer stickers.
Gotcha.
So got to give
Well,
John Hall some love.
We're waiting for the wave stickers to come in because they're die cast, not die cast, but die cut.
Die cut, yes.
Die cut.
Die cast. Hot Wheels are die cast.
Die cast stickers. We had ordered them. They didn't come in, but these are the stickers we're rocking now. So they're
okay. But when you get the waves, you got to give me a stack of those because I'll stick them everywhere.
Yes,
and even in breweries. Oh, I am so sorry to everybody for that visual.
There you go.
Ansel's absolutely 100%.
Yeah, let me throw that. Let me throw that one up really quick. Twin Leaf is a great hang, but their beers can be bizarre. When they hit it through. Dissolver is
hit it though. You added an R.
They hit it though. I'm sorry. They hit it though. When they hit it, they hit it though.
They hit it
though. This Dissolver can be. Dissolver is super underrated, and in the Asheville lager game.
And it's funny because when we were there, I was looking at the lagers, and I'm like, "This is Dissolver." Mm-hmm. As much as anybody who's watched the show know I love the lagers, I love the pilsners. I was not a Dissolver for lagers, and it's a shame that we didn't have more time there. Because when you got a brewery that can brew what they brew so damn well, you do want to try the lagers. You do want to see, because as we've said it many times in the show, you brew a lager, you brew a pilsner, your brewing process, any flaw in it is going to be exposed when you do a lager. Mm-hmm. You can hide it in an IPA. You can hide it in the stout. You can easily hide it in the stout. And Dissolver is so good at those particular styles. That's what I was there for. So now I feel kind of cheated that I didn't actually hit some of the lagers. But at this point, I was rationing ABV and belly space.
There you go. That's important.
Yes.
Very important.
People who've seen me, I've got a rather large belly, but at that point, we were so many breweries in at the time, and I wanted to get to Zillicoa. Mm-hmm. So I've got two of my breweries in there, right? Dissolver and
Burial, right?
Brewery. These are in no order. Brewery would probably be 3 if I were to rank them, but Brewery is just they're so inventive. They're so creative. Like I said, Johnny and I have been in the beer world, craft beer world for so damn long. First time I've ever heard of a Black Kolsch.
Never heard of it before.
So what they do is unparalleled. How creative they are. We really enjoyed it. It was the only brewery we were at twice.
Really?
Yeah. And the only reason we went back is because we were passing it and we were hungry and we knew they had good food. So we had more beer. So yeah, Brewery probably number 3. I'd probably put Burial at 2, Dissolver at the top of the heap for me.
Fair enough.
But if you go to the outskirts, Zillicoa may have been number 1. It's an honorable mention, but if you count that as an Asheville brewery, which probably should be, Zillicoa, I really, really enjoyed Zillicoa. Their beer there, because I went lager pilsner there. Because I'd already gone heavy with the IPAs and stouts at Dissolver. Mm-hmm. I need to get a little lighter now. And so that's what I went there and drank a whole ton of water on the route out there so I could actually taste what they were doing. Right. So much really clean, well brewed beers at Zillicoa, and such a great place to hang out.
Yes.
So
cool. Well, I will tell you right now, when I do get to Asheville, which is most likely going to be within the next 6 to 8 months, I will get there. I will at one in a separate segment. During one show, I will revisit my top 3 from this list.
Yeah,
and
I guarantee you, Catawba will fall off of it.
Fair enough.
Guarantee you.
Granted, now keep in mind too, and I'm not making excuses by any means, but you in your trip. Now I've had plenty of Asheville beer, but in your trip in the last 10 days, you had more Asheville beer from different. You had different breweries than I had.
Yes.
All right.
So
I mean, obviously, the bulk of my Asheville beer consumption has been Burial.
Yes, like most people, because that's the one that everyone talks about that comes from there. It's when you go.
It's easiest to get too when you're if you order from or just trading with people or whatever.
And also, if you're
it's
staying
available, so.
2.5 blocks north of it,
This is true.
I'll let you know the location of the Airbnb.
Very nice.
It's kind of a shared space. You got your own bathroom and all that, but if there's someone above you, you're going to hear them. While we were there, the fire panel had a fault in it, so I was just waiting for the Airbnb owner to give me permission to go into it and silence it.
There you go.
But anyway,
Very
yeah, it's get there. Catawba, another brewery that's a bit of a miss. If you're really saving ABV and belly space, is actually Asheville Brewing Company. I hate to say.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, not one of my faves while we're there, because Gary and I talked about probably some of the ones that we weren't really all that happy with, and they were on the list. And we had 3 on the list that we're like we never need to go back. 3 notched in Richmond was the other.
There you go. Ansel just commented again. Burial is definitely in my top 3. Their oak lagers are incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because I started there. Carrie was going sours. I started with lager and then went to the pastry stouts.
Okay, nice.
Yep.
Cool.
And then blind. And then
well, depends on how much you drink that day. Anyway, all right. I got dinner waiting. It's 9
and
o'clock.
And 1 second. What are you having with dinner?
Yes. Well, that's where I was going.
What
I'm dinner waiting, and of course it's about halfway through the Mets Yankees game. Mets got a run back, so it's 2-1. All right. Which ironically was the name of a band I used to be in the early '90s, but 2-1. In any event, yes. Today, as you remember, and I'll throw it back up.
Shit. Well, so they got men on second and third with 2 outs. It was second and third with 1 out, but apparently, never mind. Go ahead.
As you remember, the beginning of the show, it's National Buttered Corn Day.
No, we never said it.
I threw it up there. I didn't say it.
Did you throw it? I don't think so.
If I didn't, then there you go. Today is also National Buttered Corn Day. So
John will be having buttered corn with his dinner.
I'll be having a buttered corn, an ear of corn on the cob. But
yes. Which means tomorrow his bathroom will have buttered corn.
There you go. All right. Well, I didn't say it. You did.
It's a Cheech and Chong thing. Hey, I love you. What you did there with texture.
See that? There you go.
Corn with texture.
There you go. Anyway, but yeah,
Dave,
and then
Dave's not here, man.
There you go. So cool. All right. And then, of course, what movie was that?
Cheech and Chong, Up in Smoke.
Up in Smoke. And how did the song go at the end?
Oh, I don't remember the song at the end.
My mama, she done told me, had to tell me not to live. Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da.
That's
I couldn't listen to it because my head was like a sieve. Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da.
And then they did that with Alice Cooper.
Yep.
Right? That's and it's the skit is Earache My Eye.
Earache My Eye, yes.
Yes. Earache. How would you like a butt ache? Not going to school today, man.
There you go.
Why not? I got an earache my eye. How'd you like a butt ache?
Anyway, there you go. All right. 9 o'clock Eastern time. Remember, exactly 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 hours from now.
Get your bologna.
Get your bologna on a piece of bread and eat it.
And anything else you want to throw onto that bologna, orange marmalade,
have at it.
Olives.
As long as there's bologna on between two pieces of bread, whatever else, however you prepare the bologna, however you prepare the bread, whatever else you put on it, it's up to you.
Formaldehyde, that's it's all fair.
Doesn't matter. Motor oil, knock yourself out.
Yeah, creosote.
Have at it. But yeah, National Bologna Hour. Bologna Sandwich Hour.
God, I hope Urban Farmhouse is making like a bologna diaphragm burger. Yeah, because that would be from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. So that works for them.
There you go. No, it would be from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. 6 hours. So 1 to 2.
Oh, it's 1 to 2. That's right. It's 1 to 2. I thought it was 12 to 1. It's 1 to
7 to 8. Yeah, so 7 to 8. Yeah. So yeah, we'll make a little graphic. We'll throw it up on the Facebook page.
Get your bologna.
Get your bologna. Get your bologna. Remember, If you want to listen to some good music tonight, make sure you listen to Randy Watson
And Sexual Chocolate.
and Sexual Chocolate. And two new guys just actually joined Randy Watson's band, too.
Did they?
Yeah, these guys right here.
Ah.
There you go.
Very cute. That's the only thing that makes it wholesome.
Wholesome, right, exactly. Sax and stand-up bass, absolutely. There you go. So
it's sex and violins.
Sex and violins, yes. Violins on TV. There you go.
There he is.
Randy Watson. There you go. All right. So on that note, you have anything else to say? What?
No, I don't. It looks a little like Morton Downey Jr.
Eddie Murphy looks
I
like.
know. Does it not look like Morton Downey Jr. from what was the movie? Tropic Thunder.
You mean Robert Downey Jr.?
Robert Downey. I'm sorry.
Morton Downey Jr. is a completely
whole
different guy.
person.
A whole different guy.
But it looks like Morton Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder.
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. I'm going to get this right.
Robert Downey Jr. Yes.
Never go forward.
It's tied, by the way. It's 2-2 now.
Nice.
So, all right, everybody, go watch your Mets and Yankees game.
We're going to
LFGM. LFGM, as the polar bear says. We are going to bid you adieu. Anything before we leave?
Adieu of what?
Not alieu, not in lieu.
Oh,
adieu. Adieu.
Adieu.
Adieu.
As the French would say, adieu.
Adieu. Parting is such sweet sorrow. So, anything else you need to bring up, or are you good to go?
Nah, I think I'm good. I'm done.
You're good. All right, cool. So
yeah, we've gone through my summer vacation slideshow.
There you go.
I hope it wasn't too painful, because we know how slideshows can be very, very painful for those who didn't weren't on the trip and going, oh, that was such a fun time. Oh, feel like, oh god, yeah, that was great.
Yeah. All right. All right.
Remember those days? Cha-chink. Cha-chink.
And clank. Click, click. Yep. Exactly.
There is not enough bourbon in this house for this shit.
Exactly. Anyway. All right. On that slideshow note, we will wrap this show up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.loggerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Logger Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night around 6:30 Eastern time. That was close tonight. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so.
Something.
That was close.
It wasn't 7.
Around 6:30 p.m. Eastern time.
In the grand scheme of the space-time continuum, you are correct.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, if it was 7:30, then it wouldn't be around 6:30.
No,
but it was around
space-time continuum, it would still be around 6:30.
For those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly, please, folks. And we will talk to you soon.
And write your lawmakers.
Write your lawmakers in Trenton, please. You got it. And if you're out of state, write the lawmakers in Trenton.
Anyway. Yeah, anyway, help us out here.
Exactly.
Because we're tired of being the laughing stock of the country when it comes to craft beer.
Exactly. All right.
Please
Cheers, folks.
Cheers.
Enjoy.